Today, we're going to talk about a massive shift happening in AI. And no, it's not about faster chips or bigger code bases. It's about you, your knowledge, and who actually profits from it. We're going to dive into how the entire knowledge economy is becoming programmable, turning what you know into a totally new kind of work.
So let me just start by asking you a question. When you think about what makes AI tick, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it the giant server farms, the genius programmers? Well, what if I told you the single most important ingredient is something that, up until now, has been completely invisible?
Because yeah, it's not the code, and it's not the raw horsepower of the computers running it. The real secret sauce, the thing that gives AI its smarts and its understanding of our world, that's something else entirely.
To really get it, we need to pull back the curtain on what's been called AI's invisible engine. And more importantly, we need to talk about the broken model that's been running it for years.
You know the drill. For years, all the buzz has been about the stuff on the left. Bigger models, more computing power, a bazillion parameters. But that's all just the tip of the iceberg. The real intelligence, the stuff that matters, comes from that layer on the right. All the human-generated, human-refined, context-rich data that actually teaches these systems how to think.
And here's the problem, right? The old system is basically a one-way street. We all feed the machine a lot of the time without even knowing we're doing it. Our little bits of knowledge get bundled up and sold, but all the values shoot straight to the top. There's no credit, no ownership, and definitely no long-term benefit for the people who provided that little spark of insight in the first place.
But that is all starting to change. There's a company called Codatta that's right in the middle of this huge shift, and they're basically trying to rewrite the rules and fix this broken model.
So by March of 2026, Codatta is on track to have 10 million contributions recorded on its platform. And okay, 10 million is a big, impressive number, but honestly, the number itself isn't the real story here.
The really important part is what that number represents. These aren't just random data points being vacuumed up. We're talking about 10 million distinct moments of human intelligence that are now captured, with a permanent, traceable record, with clear ownership and a real claim on their future value.
This really gets to the heart of the shift. We're moving away from a world of disposable data, where your input is used once and then basically forgotten. We're moving to a new model of living assets, where your contributions stick around. They're always tied back to you, and they're economically alive.
Okay, so this all sounds really cool, but how does it actually work, right? How do you turn a piece of knowledge into a real asset? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of what makes this new economy possible.
The whole system is really built on this one powerful idea, which is captured perfectly in this quote. The bottleneck in AI is no longer compute, it is trusted human intelligence. As soon as you realize that high-quality human input is the truly scarce resource, well, then you have to build a system that actually values and rewards it.
And the key piece of tech here is called the contribution fingerprint, or CF. Just think of it like a digital deed for your knowledge. It's a secure, verifiable record stamped onto a blockchain that proves you are the author. It creates ironclad, indisputable ownership. It's yours.
And that simple idea enables a completely new economic loop. It's so simple. First, you contribute some insight. Let's say you correctly label a weird-looking fruit in a photo. Boom, a contribution fingerprint is instantly created, stamping your ownership on it. Then, whenever an AI model uses your contribution to get smarter, you get paid. And, this is the best part, it's not just a one-time thing. You earn royalties continuously, every single time it's used.
So let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture this creates. We're talking about a whole new AI economy, where value flows in a completely different way, and where even AI agents themselves can play a part.
And what's so important here is that this isn't just about getting paid. It's about building way better AI. I mean, we've all seen AI fail in weird ways, right? That's usually because its training data is just bad. By creating a real incentive for people to provide high-quality, real-world data, this system helps solve actual problems. Things like an AI that can't figure out nutrition facts or fashion models that are riddled with bias. It helps align AI with, reality.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Humans aren't the only ones who can participate. Autonomous AI agents can also have their own identities, contribute their own processed data, and earn their own royalties. This creates this incredible hybrid ecosystem where humans provide the nuance, the creativity, and the judgment, while AI provides the scale and speed. And it all happens inside this shared framework where everyone has ownership. When you look at it this way, it just makes sense as the next step in the history of work. Think about it. In the industrial era, the deal was simple. You traded your time for money. Then came the internet era, where we all basically trade our attention and engagement for free services funded by ads. Well, now we are entering the AI era, and it has a totally new model. You trade your unique insight for equity. Your knowledge becomes a literal stake in the very systems it helps to create.
So let's bring it all home. What this all really boils down to is a complete redefinition of your role in the digital world. It's a world where your knowledge is finally and truly ownable. This is the new structure. It's a total flip of the old script. Your data is owned, not just handed over. Your contributions are tracked and credited to you, not lost in an anonymous sea of data. Value flows back to you, the source, not just up to a handful of companies. And you stop being just a user, and you become a real stakeholder.
I think this quote just nails it perfectly. What's being built here is effectively a royalty engine for intelligence. It's a system that takes your knowledge, something that might have just been a fleeting thought, and turns it into a real, tangible asset that can actually generate a yield for you over time.
And that really leaves us with one final huge question to think about. What happens to everything, to our economy, to our society, to the way we think about work, when millions and millions of people suddenly realize that their knowledge isn't just useful, but that it's ownable, it's trackable, and it's valuable? That's the future we're talking about.